everyone, and a beautiful day to you. Politics is often described as the act of compromise. But at what point does compromise become inconsistency? At what point does a dramatic political turnaround become a legitimate subject of public scrutiny? These are questions now dominating Nigeria's political space after Kenneth Okonkwo, actor turned politician and chieftain of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, accepted an appointment as spokesperson to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, just weeks after publicly criticizing the party's vice presidential decision. So what exactly changed? And should Nigerians simply move on without asking questions? Kenneth Okonkwo announced the appointment on his official X account, thanking Atiku Abubakar for the confidence reposed in him. He described the appointment as evidence of Atiku's leadership style, saying the former vice president prefers dialogue and consensus instead of taking offense when party members express differing opinions. He further explained that discussions with Atiku and other leaders had addressed concerns about the political interests of the Southeast, particularly within the realities created by Nigeria's Electoral Act. According to Okonkwo, those consultations produced assurances that satisfied his earlier reservations. But this is where the real question begins. How does a politician move from openly criticizing a major decision within his party to accepting one of its most prominent campaign positions in such a remarkable short period? Was his original criticism merely an emotional reaction? Were his concerns genuinely resolved during private meetings? Or did political calculations simply outweigh earlier convictions? Nigerians deserve answers because consistency matters in leadership. Political credibility is built not only by what politicians say, but also by whether they stand by those words when circumstances change. Only weeks ago, Kenneth Okonkwo publicly warned against reports that the ADC was considering a vice presidential candidate from the South-South. He argued that such a move would further marginalize the Southeast, a region he said has been denied both the presidency and vice presidency since 1999. His criticism was direct, passionate, and widely calculated across Nigerian media. He presented the issue not as a minor disagreement, but as a matter of fairness, equity, and national inclusion. Those remarks resonated when many supporters who believe he was taking a principled stand on behalf of the Southeast. Now, almost suddenly, the tone has completely changed. Instead of public criticism, there is now public praise. Instead of questioning the party's decision, Okonkwo is defending their leadership. Instead of expressing concern about marginalization, he is speaking about unity, dialogue, and consensus. Is that the result of successful political negotiation? Or does it leave Nigerians wondering whether strong political positions can disappear almost overnight? These are legitimate questions in any democracy because voters rely on politicians to remain consistent, especially when they claim to be standing on matters of principle. To be absolutely clear, there is no evidence whatsoever that Kenneth Okonkwo was bribed, improperly induced, or offered any unlawful incentive to change his position. No such allegation has been substantiated, and none should be presented as fact. But politics is not driven only by fact. It is also shaped by public perception. When a politician make such a dramatic shift without providing detailed public explanations, speculation naturally follows. Some supporters begin asking whether promises were made behind closed doors. Others wonder whether political ambition has replaced principle, whether those suspicions are fair or unfair. They become part of the public conversation. And perhaps that is the biggest challenge facing politicians today. Trust is difficult to earn, but remarkably easy to lose. Kenneth Okonkwo built much of his political reputation on speaking boldly, criticizing perceived injustice, and protecting himself as someone unwilling to compromise his principles. That image attracted supporters who admire consistency more than political convenience. So when those same supporters witness what appears to be a complete reversal within weeks, many inevitably begin asking difficult questions. Was the original criticism genuine? Or was it merely political positioning before negotiations take place? Politics certainly require compromise. No democratic system can function without negotiation, dialogue, and consensus building. But compromise should not come at the expense of public accountability. If politicians publicly oppose a decision after 1 week and publicly celebrate the same political structure a few weeks later, citizens deserve a transparent explanation. Otherwise, confidence in political leadership begins to erode. Nigerians have repeatedly expressed frustration with politicians who change positions depending on political opposition rather than principle. That perception, whether accurate or not, continues to fuel widespread public cynicism towards the political class. For Atiku Abubakar, however, the appointment also sends a different political message. By bringing Kenneth Okonkwo into his campaign as spokesperson despite earlier disagreements, Atiku appears to be projecting an image of inclusiveness and reconciliation. It suggests a willingness to accommodate criticism rather than silent dissent within his political movement. Supporters may interpret the appointment as evidence that differences can be resolved through dialogue. Critics, however, may view it differently, arguing that public disagreements have simply been replaced by political appointments. Which interpretation proves correct will depend largely on how events unfold in the months ahead. The appointment also comes at a crucial moment as political parties intensify preparations for the 2027 general election. Every appointment, every alliance, and every public statement is now being carefully examined for signs of emerging political strategies. Kenneth Okonkwo's role will extend beyond simply speaking to the media. He will become one of the public faces of Atiku Abubakar's campaign, defending party policies, responding to criticism, and helping shape the campaign narrative nationwide. That makes his credibility even more important than before. Every future statement he makes will inevitably be measured against the positions he previously took. The story is bigger than one political appointment. It is about consistency, about accountability, and the relationship between politicians and the people they seek to lead. Nigerians have every right to ask difficult questions when public figures dramatically change their positions. What changed? Why did it change? And should political leaders provide fuller explanations when they make such significant reversals? These are not attacks. They are questions at the heart of democratic accountability. In politics, integrity is not judged only by making strong statements. It is judged by the ability to stand by them or honestly explain why they have changed. What do you think? Has Kenneth Okonkwo demonstrated political maturity through dialogue and compromise? Or has his sudden turnaround raised legitimate concerns about consistency? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this report informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth analysis of Nigeria's biggest political stories. I am Cassie Tony, and many thanks for watching.